Hello sweet friends, it's Gina. Welcome to the TheReBookery channel. So I wanted to do a video because I am super excited. I got my journal done and I just bound it, so I haven't really cleaned it up. There might be some strings and stuff hanging off of it, but yeah. So the binding I did, I just wanted it to be super sloppy, super I don't want to say the word organic, but like not refined. I want it to be elementary like. I want it to be uneven and just kind of haphazard. So trying for that, I actually whenever I try to do that, I don't do it. Whenever I don't try to do that, I do it. So yeah, I did seem to get them pretty evenly spaced, but I was okay if they were not. I was just kind of looking for a real rudimentary type of stitching on my spine. So here's, if you guys can see from the top down, so this is what it looks like. There is lots of room to grow in this journal. And then, so when you open it up, here's what I have, my signatures, and I already walked you guys through all of this stuff. A couple of things I added. I came across some new wallpaper books, some new old wallpaper books, and I wanted to try out this wallpaper. It's kind of textured. So I added, I think 3 pieces of that. And I just put it in the middle of like every other signature. Yeah, here's another one. And I just really wanted to see how, I wanted to experiment with this new wallpaper just to see how it takes paint and glue and things like that. I always like to experiment with, you know, papers and stuff first before I put them in journals and sell them. So threw some new wallpaper in there. So I'm kind of excited to journal on that. All right, let me make sure I'm in focus. And so this is my front page. And I normally don't start with a front page, but I'm gonna start with the front page because I know exactly what photo I want to go there. And it is this one right here. I was a ballerina. So I want that to be my very first photo. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll just use the copy of it. So I got to find it in here. There it is. All right. So it's kind of crazy around my house right now. My husband's outside doing yard work, so I'm right by the window, which means he's gonna be walking by and it'll be really loud. And then I don't know what my dog is upstairs doing, but I can hear him clomping around. So yeah, and the TV's on, and I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We might have some interruptions while I'm filming this. Okay, so I want to cut. Oops. Okay, I want to cut. I love this little paper trimmer. I got it a million years ago when I was scrapbooking. It's a little Fiskars trimmer. And it just, I don't know, it's just my favorite little trimmer. I love having it. Okay, so as I said with this journal, I just want this to be kind of putting pictures down and that's it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about stuff, journaling about stuff. It's all about just getting pictures down and just playing and just, you know, putting maybe a sentence with a picture. So here's the thing. I want this journal. I think I started just calling this the This Is Me journal because that's kind of my thought process is like, this is me, this is my kitchen, this is my bedroom. So this is going to say, this is me. And I wanted to find some of my handwriting from back then. So I found some little golden books that I have because I know I had written in these. So I found this, which is actually my mom's handwriting, and she wrote my name in this book. So I know I want that, and I'm okay to cut this cover apart because, again, it's not really serving a purpose, just sitting over on my shelf. It's going to be something more treasured if I actually do something with it where I can see it and interact with it. So, and I loved your guys' comments that you left on the video about how a couple of you guys were kind of worried about me cutting up my baby clothes, but then once you heard my reasoning, you were like, oh yeah, I get it. So yeah, it's all about, I used to, when I scrapbooked, I preserved everything. I acid-free everything. I made sure, everything was perfect for the future. And then here's what happens, guys. This is a dirty little secret about scrapbooking. You scrapbook and your kids get older and they don't really care. And so I have an entire closet full of 12 by 12 scrapbooks. I had ones for each of my kids, 8.5 by 11 scrapbooks, vacation scrapbooks, Project Life. I probably have 5 12 by 12s and a couple 8.5 by 11 binders for Project Life. I mean, I probably have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in scrapbooking materials, and you know where they're at? They're sitting in the top of my closet. Now someday the kids will, I'm sure love them, maybe, I don't know. And every once in a while we do get them out. But the thing is the thing I realized, nothing is so precious. If you're not utilizing it, you're not appreciating it, you're not thinking about it and interacting with it, then what's the point? That's kind of where I got to. So I want these things to be tangible. I want these things to be touchable. I want these things to be usable. I want it to be out and about, because 20 years from now, I don't care. I don't care if it's I ripped up a book or if I cut up my baby clothes, because if they spent 20 years in a storage bin or in a closet, that kind of seems silly. It kind of seems like a waste. And that is just my personal opinion. You guys are totally entitled to your own opinions, and there are a lot of opinions out there about memory keeping, but that's just kind of my philosophy. Nothing is too precious, and I want to be able to record and appreciate the memory right now, not thinking about the future. I'm just thinking about right now. Okay, so I said that, and now I think I'll move on. Sorry, I didn't mean to get on my soapbox. Okay, so this is a book of my brother's. Now here's the thing. My brother was notorious for not taking care of his things, and he was always writing in books and drawing in books and coloring in books, and he wasn't supposed to. So what I did was I decided that he did not deserve this book, so I actually took it, and underneath his name I wrote my name, because I felt like I was more deserving of this than he was. So that's kind of how I was. I was kind of the boss of him. Like, I had to be there to take care of him and show him how to take care of things and not write in his books and not tear things up. And I don't know, if you have a little brother or a little sister, you probably, or if you are a little brother or a little sister, you probably understand what I'm saying. One of the things I would always do when we were playing is I didn't ever want to mess up my room. So whenever we'd play, I'd say, yeah, but we have to play in your room because I didn't want my room to get messed up, and I'd rather go into his room and mess it up because his room was always messy. So yeah, it's just one of the perks of being a bossy big sister, I guess. Kind of like the thing about always playing school, and I was always the teacher and he was the student. It's It's just one of the things you are when you're the older sibling. Okay, so I don't want all the bulk of this cardboard. I just really want the end paper. And so I'm trying to rip this off. And this is super old. This is like 40 years old, so it's coming off pretty easily. Just got this one little spot right here. There we go. Okay, so now I've got where I've written my name, and then I've got my brother's name, and then I've got where my mom wrote my name. And this is actually a little thick. I want to see if I can pull off another layer. Yeah, let me just pull off another layer there. Okie dokie. So now if you remember when I told you about how I was doing this book, I said I wasn't concerned about the pages, the background pages, because I knew that I was planning on covering them up. So I'm okay with covering this up because, you know, I don't really care what the background pages look like. I want my pretty papers and my artwork and stuff to be on top of it. So I got to figure out how I want to do this. I love this end paper. I like how it's got my name. I like how it's got my brother's name, and I X'd it out. But then I also want to use this that is my mom. Ooh, I could glue that over here. I think I'll glue that over here. Okay, so then that leaves me back with this over here. Now that is kind of messed up, but this is a good version of my name. So I think what I'll do is I'll just leave it like that. Yep, that'll work, that'll work. Okay, so let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to glue this over here, and I think I'll use some of this tacky glue. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I have so many glue choices over here. Usually I'm just a regular old Elmer's white glue gal, but I don't know, we'll try this, see what it does. It's super thick. Might be kind of dried out too. So a tip I always do that helps keep my paper wrinkle free is I just kind of always smooth it out. Sometimes if I'm not being lazy, I'll go get a paintbrush. Other times I just use my finger. Okay. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. Okay, now let's wipe the excess glue here. Okay, so on this, because this is vinyl, I'm going to use, I mean, I could try to use this tacky glue, but I don't know. I'm not in the mood for experimenting right now. So if I could find the lid, I'm gonna go, whoops, to my tape runner, and I'm just smearing some of that leftover glue on here. Okay. Now I'm gonna do quite a bit on this. Ooh, you know what? I could, oh, but well, I have a pocket right here. I was gonna say I could make this a pocket and then slide a little journaling card behind it, but I do have this pocket over here, so I think I'll just use that. All right. So I'm gonna go down and see my mom tomorrow, and I wanna take this and show it to her. I sent her a couple pictures, but I wanna take it and show it to her tomorrow. So we're getting a new air conditioning put in tomorrow, and it's supposed to be 96 degrees with about 67% humidity. So I think I'll just head on down to my mom's house. I don't think I need to hang out here and endure the heat. I hate hot. I am not a hot weather person. I am such a baby. Hot, I'm just, ugh, I don't like to sweat. I don't like to be sticky. I like to be cold and wrapped up in blankets. Okay, so there's that. then I'm gonna put that over top, and I'm just gonna leave my brother's name. I don't think I'm gonna, well, I could, ooh. Okay, well, you know what I could do. Make a flap. I mean, I could, oh, and that way I'd be able to see that. All right, that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm gonna make a flap. I need some paper. Dig around in my drawer. See what I've got. Here's some pretty wrapping paper. It's kind of cute. It's kind of thick. I kind of like that. All right, so first of all, let me go back and cut this. And the cool thing about this paper trimmer is that if it ever gets dull, I just chop some pieces of foil and it sharpens it right back up. And it's perfect for trimming like 4x6 photos and stuff like that. All right, where is my tape? Okay, we'll set this down here. Just do some chopping. All right. Okay, ooh, I like that because my name is just barely peeking through. Okay, okay, so that's cool. Ugh, goodness. All right. Now let me see here. What do I want? I want, do I want white? Do I want brown? I think I'm gonna go white. I'm gonna do white and see what it does. That may change. Oh no, I like the white. Okay, so these are just China markers. And this was a pack from my good friend Alice, who I haven't heard from in a while. Alice, I hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you in a while. And I like these because they stick to slippery surfaces and glossy surfaces. And it just adds like a border, and I don't have to, you know, like go to the trouble of layering things. All right, I gotta find some tape. Let's see. I kind of like this because it's pink. Okay, so I got a funny story about me being a ballerina. So I was a ballerina, and one time I was at ballet practice, and I had to go to the bathroom really, really, really bad. And the teacher was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt her, but I had to go to the bathroom really, really bad. I'm sure you know where this is going. And yeah, I pottied my pants at ballet practice. And I remember we were all standing there, and we were listening to our teacher, and we were all standing in line listening to our teacher, and then all of a sudden you can hear it splatting on the floor because I had to go so bad. God, I felt awful. I felt awful because it was the end of class and the parents were all standing over there. So my mom was over there, I'm sure. I mean, how embarrassing is that? All right. That's kind of cute. I like it. I like it. And I think I'll just put, I don't know, I'm just going to balance out this washi tape down here. Just kind of make it messy. I always like messy. Let me see. Let me find another. Oh, I like this gold. So let me balance up here first, and then I'll balance down here, and then I'll take it over onto this side. Oh, sorry if there was a shadow there. Okay, and then, so I'll carry that over here. So, could go like that. And just kind of do that right there. Okay. All right. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Now, hang on here. I love this. I would love to put this somewhere. Where could I put this? So this is from my little jumper. This was my little purple quilted jumper. And I don't know, I just love it. Love it. What if, oh, hey, hello. What if I cut and I made it like it's a little pulley-uppy thingy, a tab. I could do that. And then I could staple it. And right on cue, my house became very busy again, and so I had to quit talking and just go back and do a voiceover, which is fine because I spent a lot of time just kind of goofing around on this page. So I cut out a bunch of stuff, and then I just sped it up a little bit. Okay, so what I did was I stapled that little tab on there, and then I love this, but it's too neat. I need to grunge it up a bit. I need to make it mine. So that's kind of what I do here at the end, is I just kind of put my own little spin on it. And for me, my own little spin is putting in some random stuff, adding some text, doing some pin work, kind of making it a little messy. So I'm trying to find something to stick in that pocket, and I don't want something predictable. I want something kind of out of the ordinary. So I remembered I had those cards from when I was a little kid. So I grab one of those cards, and I'm going to trim it down here. I'm going to actually find one that I want to work and stick it in the pocket and see if it fits. And I go through a whole bunch of them. But once I find one, I trim it down, and it actually works really well because I can take it apart, and then it becomes kind of like a little booklet because it folds up. And so that's going to be like my journaling card. So I'm just kind of going through, making sure that that's the one I want, and come to find out I have a duplicate of that one. So yeah, I decided to use that one. And I'm going to use my trimmer to try to trim down the sides, but it's too big to put in my trimmer. So then I just use my scissors and I chop a little bit of it off. So that way it has a little bit more room to fit inside that pocket. I hate putting things in pockets when they're so tight, because then it really wears on the pocket, and then it also wears on the tag. So I want there to be lots of room for that. And of course, I can't just leave it like it is. After I do some journaling, I have to go over and do some sewing. So I put a vintage sheet scrap and just a trim that I had laying on my desk, and I just sewed across the top with a messy stitch. And then I'm going to journal on the inside, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and journal about the one thing that stands out to me. The time I had an accident at ballet class. And I know it's random and it's kind of silly and, you know, bathroom humor, but God, that's what I remember when I think about ballet class. I think about the time that I had an accident and how embarrassed my mom must have been and how embarrassed I was. And so that's what I just wrote about. I just wrote about one time I had an accident at ballet class. And that's about all the journaling I'm going to do. So once I have that in that card, I stick it back in the pocket, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and do the title. And so for the title, like I said, I want the theme to be This Is. So my title is going to be This Is Me. So here in a second, I'm going to get some letters out and see if I can find some letters to use. So in true Gina Johnson style, I saw the pretty pink ones, and most people would probably do pretty pink polka dots for ballerina. But then I had to add something edgy. So those old black and gold mailbox stickers, those are going to be perfect. So I'm going to mix the pretty pink with the black and gold and kind of just put my title down here along the bottom. And then I'm good with that. I like how it looks, but I feel like I want to put my name on here, and I want to put my real name. So I'm going to go back to the gold stickers, and I'm going to put my real name, which my real name is Stella, and I was named after my grandma, and I was named after my mom, but my parents never intended on calling me Stella. So the only time I go by Stella is if it's like my insurance or something legal, or, you know, something that has to do with taxes and blah, 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 stupid stuff like that. Or my doctor's office, as they always call me Stella. But other than that, everybody just calls me Gina. So growing up in the 80s, and having the first name of Stella was not a lot of fun. I spent many times crying because people would make fun of my name because a teacher would call me Stella or something. And oh my gosh, I remember getting a pit in my stomach the first day of school every year because I knew they were going to call me. And they were going to call me Stella because that would be what it was on my school records. And so I just remember being sick to my stomach every year. And my fourth grade teacher, so this was so stupid. In fourth grade, they didn't tell you, back then they didn't tell you who your teachers were until you got there, like the day of school. So the first day of school, I got there and everybody's in the gym. And what they did was they read off the names on an overhead projector, and that they read the names off of who was supposed to go with what teacher. Well, they didn't even read the names. They just did the initial and the last name. And so they called S. Williams. Well, oh my God, how many S. Williamses are there in the world? So I didn't think it was me because I just kept thinking, no, I'm G. Williams. Anyway, long story short, I didn't go with that teacher, and then I was one of like 3 kids left, and then they figured out that I was supposed to have gone with this teacher, so they took me to the teacher's room late. And do you know what she said to me when I walked in her room? First day of school, I was already petrified because they called me Stella, and I walk in her room, and she goes, "Would you have cotton in your ears?" I will never forget that. And actually, I loved her. She was a great teacher, but God, that first day, oh, that was gut-wrenching. So I swore I was never going to do that to my daughter. So I did not name my daughter Stella, although my third one, had he been a girl, I was toying around with it, but I would have actually called him Stella. Okay, back to the layout here. So I took the back of that card that I used for my journaling, and there was actually a little sentiment in the card, and it said a precious little doll. So I just cut that out and stuck it on the picture. And then I feel like I just need to add some detail to it. So I'm just taking some gel pens and just kind of making little triangles and circles and using a paint pen that is too far gone. I need to get rid of that and just get a new paint pen, and then going back with that China marker and just adding some border, some detail. This is where I really start to put my signature on it, where I really start to put my Gina Johnson style, which is just kind of the messy, scribbly type stuff. And this is the part that I love. So I'm just going to play around with that. Find like, I tried to find some more text, and I actually did. I pulled from a couple of different book pages that I had just sitting in my drawer. And so it says, forgive me this time, I shall never forget it, and seen the sad plight, oh mother dear. And it just kind of, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Those words kind of rang true when I was thinking about that memory of me having that accident at ballet class. And so, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm just going to go back and add a few more details and the date. And yeah, this is perfect. And this is my first page in my This Is Me journal, and I love it. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I totally appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. You're healthy and happy, and I will see you soon. I've got some journals ready that I want to get listed in my Etsy shop, so be looking for a video coming soon. Bye.